Thanks for staying with us. It's still iBrand Daybreak, and we still have Mazi Chinedum Obioha right there with us discussing about the deployment of police officers to Osun State ahead of the governorship election slated for the 16th of July, where the APC's Boyega Oyetola is seeking a return to office and is, fielding up against the likes of the former Deputy Speaker Yusuf Lasso, not forgetting PDP's flag bearer Ademola Adeleke. Mazi, so prior to that break, we talked about the issue of apathy, security being or insecurity being one of the reasons for apathy. You talked about the place of votes not counting as well, but are we not seeing a change in that notion? I mean, you now have massive orientation and involvement by the youths who now believe that they have the power to change the narrative. And we can see that from different movements, especially, the obedient movement. But now, don't you think that can also transcend to the states in terms of Osun State and would see record numbers turn out?
In my personal opinion, I think the obedient people are interested in the presidency.
And not the states?
Yeah, that's my personal opinion. Because they are focused
on the presidency, yes.
Now, talking about the voters apathy, there are so many things that contribute to it. Like you said, insecurities, that the vote not being something. Security is necessary. But like I said earlier, if they would do the needful, we don't know how many policemen that will be deployed, how many Air Force, how many soldiers and other things.
Most likely 25, 30, like
now,
we had.
The Inspector General of Police has promised. Do you know that even there will be other personal security guards there? And the Inspector General of Police will give instruction to either the DIGs or AIGs that will go there.
Go there, yes.
And the DIGs will now give instruction, directives to other young officers. Like I said, we are not in a war zone. We need to go out and vote freely. It's not their choice, but because of insecurity. And having said that, the INEC should make sure that the transmission of the results should be effective. Again, that they don't have right to prosecute anybody arrested for vote buying as the police. Would they be able to do it? But let me ask you, during the last election at Ekiti,
yes,
how many persons were arrested for receiving or buying votes? It has become the norms, the normal thing all over. And that is why we are where we are today. That is where we are today. Let us go and vote my brother. Let us go and vote APC. Let us go and vote PDP. Let us go and do it. Instead of voting credible people. Until we get to a point that we say, no, we don't have individual candidates. Until we get a point that we say, whether this man in party A or B, we must vote him is a credible person. When he comes, we know we'll be. The Bible says, when the righteous are on throne, the people rejoice, right? The governors, you know how much they spent before they were even elected to represent a party? Millions of naira, right? And that is why they want to make sure that they get that position to recoup their money.
Okay.
They spend. It's just like a business. It's trading. You don't go into business without profit. To them, it's a business. Not? But in another place, I have advocated for part-time.
Okay, Marty.
Yes.
Okay, now let's look at the turnout. Let's look at what happened in Ekiti State. According to INEC, we had, I really can't get the figures correctly right now, but then we had a number of people register, and then we had the people who came out to vote. It doesn't commiserate with people who are registered voters for Ekiti State. Now let's look at the turnout. Do you think the turnout of Osun State would be as expected?
Yeah, that's what we expect, but because of this security, I doubt very much.
But Osun State is relatively peaceful.
Yeah, peaceful. Even Ekiti State has been.
Sokoto has been peaceful before. right? Kano has been relatively peaceful. These days, you can't predict where these people can strike. No. But there's no assurance. There's no security everywhere. If I thought we would have even discussed about Kuje prison, right? Now, if Kuje prison in the seat of power
Yes.
could be attacked without any hindrance, is it Osun here? Right? So we are looking at a peaceful situation where people will be willing to go. People will be afraid of their lives because it's only he who is alive that will know, see tomorrow. They say it is the living that praise the Lord. So people, one, will have vote count. Secondly, they've known whom to they will be the governor. Thirdly, my life is important to me. Right?
Okay.
The same people. So why is it? I know the governor then wants to go back.
Yes.
Now, you remember the last election, PDP narrowly lost that place because of injustice.
Those are
inconclusiveness.
Yes.
So and the things and when the matter went to Supreme Court, it was dismissed on technical ground. They accused the Justice Obiora,
yes,
who read the judgment at Court of Appeal, that he was not part of the judges that sat.
Yes.
Just only that. Otherwise, it would have been like that. But then, what you asked me is that there might be a slight improvement in turnout.
Why do you think so?
People will be afraid of their life.
Okay.
People will say, my life is important. This people can strike from anywhere, right? People will say, our vote can't count. People will say, let me go and collect my own share. And I pity those who say, let me go and collect my own share. You eat now and destroy tomorrow.
Okay, Mazi, just before I wrap up this conversation, we've talked about security as well as, the apathy aspect of things. Let's look at the candidates. I don't know if you saw, clips from the various debates they had. And looking at the candidates, what do you think is the direction in terms of governing Osun State for the next 4 years? They've talked about, some of them have talked about community policing, others have also, addressed other issues. For each state in Nigeria is peculiar. So for Osun State, and on the basis of what you've heard from the various candidates, what do you think the direction is going into the polls and for the next 4 years for the state?
I read somewhere where Adeleke made some short statement and people begin to laugh. I say, is this person? I think Adeleke is loved by his people, right? And they wanted him there. He's a strong man. But the person of PDP is also good.
APC, man?
APC, sorry.
Okay.
APC is also good. Another candidate. My take on this is that let the best candidate win. But let there be justice, let there be fairness. But it is one thing for them to speak good English. It's one thing for them to say, I will do this, I will do this. But when they come on board, would they do it? They say it, this is my program, this is a very laudable program, this is. When it comes to reality, the party is supreme, not the people. I think Osun people should go out to vote somebody that will take care. The welfare of people is important. But unfortunately, right from local government to the center, nobody's talking about the welfare of the citizens. Citizens are not concerned. They are not bothered about citizens that they're supposed to protect. They are interested about themselves. So Osun State is not going to be different from what happened in Ekiti State or other places.
Okay.
Because it is difficult for you to dethrone a king. I said it here. It is difficult for you to dethrone a king. APC is there. And APC is also at the center. So they will now deploy, or they will now say it is either I die or I live, to make sure that they wouldn't like to lose that state.
But don't you think the will of the people can also prevail? We had that in Edo State.
The will of people, is it being allowed to prevail?
It prevailed in Edo State.
That was then, but now their eyes have opened. Look, do you know, like I said it here, one of our persons in the situation room then, I was live on one of the TV stations. We were communicating. he says like the president doesn't want to get involved in this. And again, it depends on the people. There was a slogan there during the Edo no be Lagos, right? Edo no be Lagos. Can that be repeated in Osun? You remember Bola Tinubu went to Ekiti.
Yes.
On his way back, look at the hold up, right? They were even jubilating, celebrating as if he's the president. In fact, I can't remember when a president that comes to Nigeria that will be like that, receive that crowd.
Okay.
So what we are saying is that Edo no be Lagos. Will Osun say, I don't see them liberating themselves from the ones that trouble Israel.
Okay. To wrap this up, if again these elections, that's Ekiti and Osun, is more like a preamble to what we should expect from INEC in 2023 in terms of the general elections. But now, more importantly, is it will play a crucial role in determining the presidential election in terms of states. Now you have APC having won Ekiti. If they win Osun as well, how do you think that boosts their chances in terms of the presidency? But if the PDP wins Osun, how do you think that also aids its cause in terms of season power in 2023?
It's 50-50.
Okay.
It's 50-50. But don't forget, like I said, the youth are interested center. They want the center to be changed. And how I wish that even the youth that are interested in the center, they should also replicate in the states.
In the states. Okay.
To have a balance. But having said that, if APC wins, having won Ekiti, right? I won't stand here I will sit here to say they may likely win the center. I mean the center. I won't say that because it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. Nigerians are serious. Nigerians are serious because they've passed through hell during these 7 years. And if APC and PDP come 2023, something is wrong with you and I.
Okay.
All right. I think
it's a fine place to wrap it up. I would have just loved to hear your thoughts regarding if PDP wins, how it helps their cause, because they will have 2 states within the Southwest, Oyo and Osun. Again,
it will help them at least to have some representative in the Senate and House of Rep.
Okay.
Right. My desire is I'm not a politician. Like during the last election, I didn't vote for PDP. I didn't vote for APC because they are the 2 ones that trouble Israel.
Okay.
If they win, to God be the glory. If APC wins, to God be the glory.
If all things give thanks.
To God be the glory. What we need is good governance.
Marty just spoke like a politician there.
He did actually.
Thank you so much, Marty Obioha, for that. Timely, it came timely. Just sharing your thoughts with us. We appreciate your time in the show.
It's my pleasure. It's my joy. It has become a family affair.
Yeah, thank you.
My home, and I'm all over the place.
Thank you so much, Marty.
All
right, now that was Marty Obioha sharing his thoughts on the latest development in the nation from the APC running mate to the deployment of police officers for the Osun State elections slated for July 16th, 2022. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we have the Money Motivation segment for your viewing pleasure. Please stay with us.